What's going on, chat? Episode 2 of Season 4 of the BetterCast. I'm Yellcrib. To my left is Neely. To my right is Jace, the ace. And we got a busy one today. We got to rack, the week one up. You know, it's over. It's done. We got highlights from that week. We got some power rankings. We finally have power rankings for every tier. And we're doing it a little different this season. So, Purse, you're an absolute monster doing this again. 5 gifted subs. Thank you to Dragon for subbing with Prime at the start of this. You guys are wild the last couple of better casts. Okay, I don't even know where I was. Oh yeah, we're doing it different. So last season, what we did with the power rankings was we chose 2 tiers each week and we alternated every week. So we would do 2 and 4 one week and then 3 and 1 the other week. This season we're doing it where we're going to have a better cast power ranking, so 1 power ranking for 3 tiers. And then we're going to all jump in and make our own individual power rankings for 1 tier. And this week, that's going to be tier 3 because they were kind of neglected last one. Okay, Dragons fighting back, gifting 5 more subs. This is absolutely bananas. Also, to the 45 of you that are in here so far, what's up? Hope your Monday's going well. Munching Carrot getting in, and we're already got a hype train. This is outrageous.
Wow.
Outrageous. Oh, my God. All right, we got to just start off. How's your guys' week been? You're both on some teams. How'd they do? Neely, go first. Jace, go second.
Haven't lost, so I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I should have apparently, but I haven't, so we're chilling.
You should have apparently? When you say apparently, sounds like
Not
you're throwing a jab.
Not really a jab. Just it's
okay.
You know, just shades getting tossed. It's cool. I know there's some people a part of my team that are throwing massive, haymakers out in the Twitterverse. I am not one of those. I would rather keep it,
You've thrown some haymakers on Twitter. You know how that turns out most of the time. In the past,
poorly.
Yeah.
In the past.
You're cancelable.
Yeah. I don't know about I'm not canceled. Just, people would get after me. You know what I mean? But, yeah. Games went well this weekend. They were, preseason and regular have been fun so far.
Nice.
Hoping we can get some more scrims as a team, going, considering I have no time to scrim
What's
with
it
this
feel like
team.
starting a season of BA back on main tank instead of starting a season on off tank?
It's different because, on Arc Flash, I haven't, what have I played, 20% of the season on Rhine? You know what I mean? I've been playing, Sigma the whole time. So, it's still, a bit of a learning curve,
We have an absolute battle for who can spend the most money on this stream today. Purz just gifted more subs after Dragon gifted 2 more, so this is insane hype train. You were saying about how it's just different what tanks you're playing for what teams?
Yeah, well, because if you don't have any time to scrim for one team, you kind of just default to playing Rush and stuff, I'm hoping that with more time and hopefully CGL ending, we'll get kind of more into, kind of a rhythm as a team and actually scrimming, but until week 1, I swear, we'd only had maybe 3 scrims as a team, and then even some of those, we never had all the players. So I think there's more for Solar to do, hopefully, but I don't think the beginning of the season, if something goes wrong in the beginning of the season, I think it's completely to be expected, and I think it's completely expected from a lot of teams. Deathwatch is fine. It's just Apollo. They've been scrimming since, summertime. They're fine. They've got a bunch of huge names over there. Any other teams that have a low presence in CGL are gonna just be better off the rip because they've scrimmed for a solid month as a team. Hopefully would be the goal. But I think there'll be a lot of improvement. I am going on a little long here, but there's a lot of shade getting tossed at all the BA teams as not being very strong, and it's hey, maybe if BA didn't start at the same time as CGL, people would care about BA, but low key, not a lot of people care. We're hey, we're going into playoffs for CGL, So, what am I supposed to do? Give, all my marbles into something that's just starting, I don't know.
You can't throw all your chips in the ring, this early on. We're making power rankings and exactly.
Yeah.
There's just so many different ways it could go. You don't want to just get overconfident. You just want to keep your confidence level where it is and keep working hard.
Yeah.
Jace, your games, your teams, how are they doing?
Blueprint Riot, we did really well. We won 3-1.
Blueprint Riot did really well. You won 3-1. All right.
Yeah, that's. Don't have quite as much to say as Neely. but I'm happy. Oh yeah, Coach Blix obviously got a little bit of shade from the casters. I don't remember exactly who casted that game,
On Twitter.
but yeah, that game is still ongoing. There was a map forfeit situation, which God, week one has been terrible about that. But Blackwatch versus Blix will be continuing. Map 6 will be going later this week.
It's kind of interesting. I guess with that we can get into the scores, but first I just gotta address one more time like the crazy hype train that's going on right now. Like I never thought anything like this would happen on my channel where I got people fighting over who can like sub more times, but all of you who have done it, that's insane. I'm pretty sure like 80% of all of you watching are probably subscribed to the channel, whether you like it or not at this point, just because of all the gifted subs. So that is actually bananas in my book. Like, you guys are going to see it on this episode, and you saw it like on the last one, how all the graphics are looking different and stuff. So I'm working hard to like make it look as good as possible. And just like, for some reason, I just want to make Console Watch bougie as fuck on broadcasts. And there's no good reason I have for doing that. So like this kind of support, which I'm like not asking for, is just completely like mind blowing. Because last night I was up until like 2 a.m. watching Avatar with my girlfriend, not actually looking at Avatar and just plugging away at like score update graphics and stuff like that. Just, yeah, so it's awesome. Thanks again. We're getting into the scores, you guys. That's what we're doing next. So, we'll start with Tier 4. If you guys have anything to say about any games, just feel free to jump in. We're going to start at the top, go to the bottom down to Tier 1. I'll start by reading these. So, as you can see on screen, Cheese Nining, 3-2 to Celia, 2 brand new teams in BA. And then Team Lemonade got the 3-1 over Minos. Revamp, losing 1-3 to Tayo. Tayo's looking pretty strong. I'm seeing it in our power rankings too, which you're going to see later. But Tayo's got a pretty good look going in Tier 4, it seems. Deep Dive Urbis, one of the stronger teams we predicted. 3-2'd Blueprint Order. I hear that was a very close game. I'm on the Blueprint Order roster, but I would be lying to you if I said I'm ever going to show up to anything or even hope for a second of playtime. What's the next game? Titans Academy, very strong team, getting the 3-0 over Deep Dive Kronos, the predicted slightly weaker Deep Dive Tier 4 team. And then Kazuko picks up the 3-1 dub over Golden Hour, and Event Horizon sweeps Saga. All right, so anything to say on Tier 4? Do you guys know anything about that Blueprint Order Deep Dive game?
I actually casted that game, and it was a good game overall. Map 4 was a bit one-sided, or Map 5, I should say, was a bit one-sided. Now I want to say Volskaya wasn't very close, but overall it was just Zen and I think Powerlines is his name. Were just high noon after high noon. Like I saw at least 5, 6 3K high noons throughout that game. Colossal Failure looked insane on the Reinhardt. I know he's normally a off-tank player, but he looked amazing on the Reinhardt. Yeah, overall Quest had about 10 male Eaton. It was a fun game to cast.
Nebula, right?
Yes,
Did he-
yes.
yeah.
Nebula. PogChamp making his return to BA. That was huge. Looked pretty good on the May.
Big ups on the PogChamp.
And it was just a really fun game to watch. It was down to the wire for just basically every map. But yeah, it's really enjoyable. 2 teams that I thought were going to be top teams. I know Blueprints without JK right now, but
And Colossal.
that's
And
big
Colossal,
news.
he's gone. Oh boy.
Yep. JCal Xbox issues. Colossal is just gone. He is just gone. But
Is Clouds
I
on
bet-
that team? Or no?
Clouds
Did he
is on
play?
that team. He was on
Yeah,
Lucio.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they'll be. I think Blueprint Order, especially once JCal gets back, because we all know how good JCal is. I think they'll still be fine.
They'll be mid back, hopefully.
Blueprint Order has that classic roster, of course, excluding myself, of just players who are nasty, but maybe not the best players for a team. And there's a fine line where you can walk to actually continue to just be a good team for the entire season. And I think Blueprint Order is going to walk that line very hard.
Blueprint Order, I think, has the most bans of 6 months.
Oh, you're totally right. Yeah, I think they're at like
Because
5
it's been-
now.
We're at a good amount, and we could be climbing to 6 rather soon. We'll have to see how that shakes out.
Well, we'll keep you updated, chat. Moving on to tier 3 scores. Oh my God.
We need a little ticker in the top right of the screen. Just how many 6-month suspensions does Blueprint Order have?
Yeah. If Enlighten was still here, J-Cal would probably be gone. So.
Yeah.
Probably booted. All right. Tier 3 scores. If you guys have anything you want to say while I'm reading these off, just jump in. But Theseus 3-1 Demos, that brand new team. We were all kind of wondering how they would look. We got a pretty good look at them in that game. Blueprint Riot picking up the 3-1 over Just Better. And I know we got some insight on that game. We got some highlights from this week too after, and I know there's some highlights from that game in it as well. What do you think was the reason that Blueprint Riot actually won? Also, while you're at it, tailcoat that statement with what is the Jace curse?
Well, Blueprint Riot just overall, I think Just Better is a good team. I really do. I think they're slept on by a lot of these power rankers, but overall they have a good Shuss, obviously really good off tank model of 4K Reinhardt. I think they have the pieces to end up being great. I know it's the first time they've played together, but first time this roster's pretty much played together. They got some maybe Wednesday.
They put a lot of it together rather late.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know Nade knows what he's doing with stuff like this, so I'm not too worried about them being good in the end.
I love how you phrased it, that they put it together really late, and then Nate on Twitter is like, "I'm the king of poaching." Like, he's just not even holding back what he's done. Like, you guys phrased it so much more delicately than Nate's put it online.
Dude, I love Nate, though. That's the thing. Like,
he's hilarious.
If you're gonna do it, be cool, be open about it. Why not? I mean, you could say
call it what it is. Yeah.
The players on Blueprint.
And honestly, let's just stop calling it poaching. It's never gonna stop people. People leave teams because they don't want to be there. Everyone blames the poacher, but they don't blame the players.
We control rosters on teams. Like, we have the luxury of being able to cut anyone at any time without even warning them an hour before it happens. So the players can do the same thing if they're not happy. It totally makes sense.
Absolutely. They get an offer to play somewhere, get starting time, or they're getting starting time, but they think they'll fit better. Maybe they're friends with people. This is a rec league.
Yeah.
Remember that. Especially
both of these guys. The only thing in the prize pool.
Everybody.
What's the only thing in the prize pool, Cam?
Talking shit on Twitter.
Talking shit on Twitter. All right. Back to tier 3 scores. So we ended on the Blueprint game, right?
You want the Jace curse or no?
Oh, yeah. The Jace curse. Oh, my God. I can't believe I forgot about the Jace curse.
It's pretty forgettable, to be fair.
It's so real, though. I'm
not saying it's not real. It usually just means you're not playing anymore.
Yeah. I mean, CGL. I won't talk about CGL, but it was proven this weekend. But yeah, every team I've been on from Screwed Future started off hot. Started off 3-0, I think.
Reverse swept by no daylight.
Yeah, reverse swept. That was we were already way gone by then, but
true.
We started off super hot, 3-0, looking real good. Beat Blueprint Chaos week 1. But yeah.
No main tanks, by the way. Remember, Jace got win when he wasn't playing against anybody that was a main tank. Don't forget that.
All right, beside the point.
He won't let us forget it.
3-0. Look good. We end up not making playoffs. End up, I want to say 3-5, 3-4, 3-5 that season.
Yeah.
That happens.
You start off hot, and then you just dip
and
down
then
in Galactic Stars.
Just same exact thing. Galactic Stars had a finals roster. You cannot change my mind that they had a
until they all
roster.
Left.
Yeah.
Until they left.
One by one too. They didn't all leave at once, right? It was just very slowly, gut punching to the rest of the team, just and we're weaker. And again, and now we suck. And Jason's still here.
Yeah. And hoping. And I've never made playoffs because we always just collapse. And I'm hoping that Riot is the team that breaks the curse. Well, we break the Riot curse, but that's a different thing altogether.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I want Riot to be in the playoffs, but we got more scores to cover. I'm happy you explained what the Jace curse is, though, because I think it's very real.
It's so real.
It's so real. Next score on the list. This was a big upset. Horizon 3-1 Deep Dive. Yeah. I mean, that just shakes up we all got individual power rankings this week, but I mean that shakes it up, I think, more than any other game in Tier 3 this week.
I'd just like to say, though, hold on, because everyone likes to, point out when certain players can't play against my team. Their starting off tank, their 3650 on the cab off tank was DOSed 2 or 3 times from the game and then got held off after. Was not really able to play as effectively as he could, along with them being on multiple people on that team being on CGL teams, not getting a lot of time to play. I think a lot of these teams, I'm telling you, halfway through the season is what we're going to see out of all these teams. This week 1, I bargain to say almost means nothing. Like, yeah, it's cool, you won, but I'm not that psyched about my wins. Like, it's cool, I'm happy to be, like, having one on the board, but other than that, it doesn't... You're going to see what teams are going to become later in the season. It's always how it is. Teams always get stronger at the end, and teams get, less strong. Usually teams that get coached are stronger at the end than they are in the beginning. That's just what it is.
Yeah. Jason,
I don't know if that's the biggest shakeup, though. Like, we haven't been over it yet, but I think there's one coming up soon that might have been the biggest shakeup of the group.
Talk about it. What is it?
Lemonade 3-0ing SS Apocalypse.
That was a big one.
Huge. So many people.
I know
like
that,
them.
but I swear every big game that pops up is just there's always this like little like, oh yeah, but this thing, this thing happened. I think they're missing their off tank. I don't know. You read Twitter, you know what I mean? Yeah. But again, big thing is, does it shake things up? I think SS is still going to be pretty good if we had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that's going to bring. My power rankings have what I think might be foresight, but I hope I'm kind of proven wrong on it. But moving right along with the scores, yeah, Lemonade getting the 3 over SS, and then Event Horizon dropping 3-0 to Deathwatch. Deathwatch looking strong. We knew they'd be strong. Event Horizon, a pretty good test to start the season, and it wasn't a match. Deathwatch breaking out the brooms right there. Next score, Titans Academy getting the 3-0-1 win over Inferno Wrath. Inferno Wrath did pick up a draw there. And then the last game for Tier 3, where we had Glizzy Gladiators 3-1ing Super Trash Mafia, but the score has been updated to 3-0 Super Trash Mafia. Any of you guys got insight on what happened with that game?
Yeah, they started 30 minutes late. And there was no extension asked for. That's the whole story. They were 30 minutes late waiting for a player.
Okay, so they DQ'd because late.
But they played the game anyway?
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
You just take the score of the game played if you agreed to play the game. Because what if they lost? Would they have argued for...
You get 15 minutes, right? Not a half hour.
It's a 15
yeah.
minute...
I'm not saying they didn't pull like the right thing, but if that's what you're going to pull after, why not just not play the game?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
If you're going to play the game, you played the game. I feel like it should be a 3-1.
If it wasn't pushed, obviously this would have happened. Like, it would have stayed the same, but I believe since it was pushed, that the score had to be changed,
I'm not giving BA shit on that, but
yeah.
Is my camera oh no, okay, fuck. I was looking at my face. I was like, that looks terrible.
We did forget a score though. We did forget a score. We forgot the Solar Flare Renegade score. We didn't talk about that one.
Well,
really can get some insight on
Which
that.
one? The Solar Flare score?
Solar
I mean, you can talk about it if you want, Neely. How good is Solar Flares? Are they number 1 in the power rankings good?
I think we're okay. You know what I mean? I think, again,
I think they're okay.
Mid-season, we'll have to see what they're made of.
Okay.
Soft tank in Tier 3. 100%.
Okay. Anyway.
Are you guys ready to move on to Tier 2?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Tier 2. I'll let one of you guys read off the scores here. Any of you got them handy, or you want me to do it a third time?
I think I got them handy. Let's see. I'm pulling them up, but loading.
I can look at the screen right now. And
all right, I got it, I believe. Oh yeah, perfect. I can just look at the screen. Yeah, Lemonade 3-1 over Lord. Limeade.
Wow.
You know what I mean. Never said I could read. Never said I could read, dude. Wish Esports, that's a big one. 3-1 over Nakoma. Kind of what I would say is like an unknown team beating somebody that I had heard Nakoma was pretty solid. So That's a big win for Wish. No Daylight 3-0 over Super Trash Bros. I mean, that's what I would have expected going into it. No Daylight always starting off strong. Daedalus 3-0ing Inferno Greed. Once again, org that's been around, bringing the heat. Like to see it. Titans Academy 3-0 as predicted over Shadow Wolves. Shell losing 3-2 to Event Horizon Pandorum. That's a big one. Because I think Shell was on a lot of people's
that is the
power
good
rankings
event
as
team.
being
Also,
yes. One of the games
one of
was
those
a DQ because
Mm-hmm.
one of the Event Horizon players switched roles mid map. He was like tank, went to deeps, or vice versa. Can't do that, everybody. Read the rule book. We'll be saying it a few times, I think, throughout this one. Taking Space 3-1 over Blueprint Chaos. Almost lost to a gold team. Moving on. 3-2 Knights of Dragoon. 3-2 Tempest Destruction. Lucky 13 Diamonds. Winning 3-2 over Event Horizon.
that's another big one too, because they had some bad blood after last season. I mean, like there's a little bit of a rivalry there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rematch of the finals last season.
Diamonds
Obviously
get the
not.
strike back.
Yeah.
Obviously not the same, but rematch of teams in the finals.
Yeah,
season.
you like to see the orgs come back at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blix Vengeance 2-2 with Blackout still ongoing. Once again, read the rules, everybody. That's all I'm gonna say. A lot of
What happened there?
What
happened there? Wait a second.
Pauses.
Yeah.
Over 3 pauses, and you pause again. Whatever map you're in when you pause is a forfeit. Main reason is because if you don't, unless what, DOSing?
Unless it's requested, unless it's agreed upon that there can be an extra pause.
Well, guess what? I ain't agreeing upon it.
I know. It was
because here's why it's a rule, just so everybody gets it. Because everyone's like, that's ticky tack. What if we have internet issues? What if we
Ticky-tack.
need the pause? But it's just like also we don't have all day here. 90% of you are 12, right? I don't know, something like that. You gotta go to bed.
No.
You got school in the
13.
morning.
Terms of service for Discord, not allowed. 90% of them
Sorry.
are 17.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah.
Some of them are
Yeah.
aged up. The year has gone by.
But no, I was there for that game. It was obviously you two were as well. I remember the casting, and
I was not there for that game. Moving on, but we casted the preseason game for Blitz.
preseason game. That's correct.
I wasn't there for that.
To what you were saying
I
about
keep
like
on-
the rule book though, like those rules are in place to just kind of like respect the time that the other team is putting in. Just like your team being a mile late to a game or having a million pauses. If like no one's getting DOSed and it's just like your team's issues, I mean that's on you, man. Like that other team, that's 6 to 12 people who like they got shit to do. So
Like if Yelk makes 5 spicy chicken sandwiches and he needs to use the restroom a few times, it does not dictate 4 pauses. You know what I mean?
we've paused a couple
Awesome.
games multiple times because of similar issues.
Yeah.
Your house almost caught on
yeah.
fire during a game. You had to leave.
Well, it wasn't a game, luckily. It was the pre-scrim to a game, and I made it within 5 minutes, luckily. But I had to miss the whole pre-scrim.
Darn it.
Couldn't shower for a week because my hot water heater broke, dude. Had to go to my brother's house.
Man, stinky.
All right,
It was
I
awful.
believe we just have the tier 1 scores. I'll just breeze through these, okay?
Breeze them.
Walrus's Disciples get that 3-0 over HLA. Walrus did a great job casting that. Got some clips from his stream and the highlights coming up. And then Cosmic Comets getting the 3-0 over Catalysts. 2 new teams. I heard from a lot of people that Comets were good. I didn't hear much about Catalysts, so just based on that alone, this is kind of what I was expecting. But, I mean, Catalysts just being a new team in the league, they got to bounce back next week and recognize the level of competition.
Recognize.
Next
Respect on my name.
Bikes! Labyrinth, 3-0 Super Trash Dragons. And next game after that, I actually don't know much about STB, but I do know that Labyrinth is going to come in every single season of Tier 1 and sweep their first game. Like, every season. So,
Yeah,
Super Trash
Lab
Dragons,
always-
don't take that one on the chin.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Jay Doney had something to do with that one for Labyrinth. I don't know. I was in a party once someone was talking about it. And I guess that, they signed a lot of people from one of the better CGL teams to go to Labyrinth, which I've been saying since week 1 of BetterCast is we hold a lot of stock in any big transitions from CGL over to BA, which I'll get to my... Wait. Go on. Just keep reading them.
Fine.
I'm looking at something at the end that I don't know why that's a thing.
The DR.
Yeah, what's DR?
A draw on one of the maps.
Oh, that's just weird. I've never seen it like that. I was like, is that disqualified with an R? Like, what is that? Anyway, go on.
Yeah.
Labyrinth. That was the last game we did. 3-0 over
Yep.
Super Trash Dragons. Okay. Blix Orion dropped a game 0-3. All these games were 3-0s except for the very last one where Blueprint Havoc drew a map against Nightwatch before winning the other 3. But what surprised me is Nightwatch not doing better in that game. I always think of Nightwatch as like an insane tier 1 team. Maybe it's going to take a while to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, they usually put together a really solid T1 team over at the Blackwatch org, of course. But Blueprint, I was saying, I'm putting some stock in them because there's a lot of transition once again coming over from a CGL team. I don't know how that's going to carry out throughout the whole season, but I am hoping, as in they are my org, that they will kind of keep it up. And I know some of the players there were very psyched about that win, that being their first BA win. So big ups to them.
The Lemon Drop game versus Event Horizon was a forfeit. So week 1 forfeit.
It was a forfeit?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
I apologize if I didn't clear that up with you.
You're good.
Yeah, no, basically just an early season forfeit. Always a bad look in my opinion, but especially a week 1, that's tough.
Well, okay. I believe the next thing on the list, you guys, is to just get this fine chat of 69 viewers. Nice.
Nice.
No more, no less.
Into some highlights. Yeah, somebody close the door. Nobody's out, nobody's in. We're selling tickets after this point.
Never mind. Nano comes in on Zarya. High Noon tries to get popped in a flank angle. GTA Glitcher finds him and kills him before he can draw. It's still winnable for Blueprint though, as they use beat trying to get just better uses beat, trying to keep up everybody. Mono Castle just swinging away on the front lines, and everyone dies. And this looks to be just better map. Shatter 1 hits a door frame. Shatter 2 gets cancelled. Shatter 3 hits a bubble. We're getting crazy.
I guess.
Corgi Bruh is still up and killing people.
They have yet to deal with Corgi Bruh.
Corgi Bruh is going hog wild.
Ace actually falls early. There's no trance on the side of Dragon. Both tires come out. Tom's tire finds two. It's a double trade. That actually picks up another. It's just junk in the feed.
Dragon
That might find another. The trance actually saved. He actually finds Galaxy before the trance gets the healing onto him. Reddish is in this backline, absolutely rolling through Tempest. Penguin actually finds him out there, though. Penguin finds another. The DPS are cleaning this fight, trying to get.
Wow, we will not see the Penguin 5k. We'll see Julie though with these clutch kills.
Despite that 5 play, I think Julie had an amazing performance this match.
Yes, most definitely. Finding the picks.
Very consistent on these picks in these fights, bringing them back very often.
Just a little bit to ultimates, but they're
looks like Dragons want to play this high ground. Shadow finds 2. Descent on the ground. Guys early.
4-man down.
Big antsy from the side of Julie.
J-Dog finds somewhere else.
And okay, we're gonna go ahead and fly in. There goes Kermit. But Kermit needs to push in. He doesn't need to be back here. Oh, very nice pin. And he just needs to keep swinging there. There we go. They get the picks they need. They need to go ahead and get a freeze. Target focus is key right here. They need to get off the high ground. But the Hanzo takes himself on high ground. Wow, what a rock. And he goes ahead. Oh, Funko gets the pick there. The Reaper's there. Good hooks. These are really good hog play coming out of. Sloppy fight, but good hog play out of Funk. They need to get that rig out of there.
Hog on the flank.
Okay, good job. Excellent. Auto heal right there. And looks like they.
The junk is doing work on point though.
Junk is doing a bunch of work, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Good bubble. Oh, the full hog though. Did they kill the McCree in the back?
Can he kill him?
Yeah. Wow. Hog just absolutely recovers for the side of Walrus's disciples.
All right. So I hope we all got to laugh at the Walrus D on the scoreboard. But yeah, little highlight reel for the week. Missed some games, but got most of them in there. All the Twitch channels, Walrus Man, Slap Better Academy, and Frog Champs. Give me the Juice 18. Yeah, thanks for streaming games. Go follow those channels. If you like Better Academy enough to watch this podcast, then go follow those channels. Watch some games. Next on the list, you guys. Power rankings for Tier 4. Neely, you're going to read these. All right?
Hold up.
Okay.
I got you. We start with Group A because that's how the alphabet goes. At number 1, I have Tayo. Number 2, Deep Dive Erebus. Number 3, Event Horizon. 4, Cheese Nining. 5, Revamped. 6, Blueprint Order. 7, Saga.
Kogarashi. Yeah. Have fun with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's.
8.
Say it. Wait. No. 7. Say it again. Have more fun with it.
Yep.
Yep.
You know how I said I can't get canceled?
Get
Do it.
Let's go to
Do it. Say it.
Saga.
That was weak.
That's as much. It was terrible.
I've
going
heard you do
8.
better. I've listened to you watch Attack on Titan.
Yeah. Of course you have. Anyway, 8, Acela.
All right. On to
That's
Group
Group
B.
A. Yeah, Group B. Next letter in the alphabet. Number 1, Team Lemonade. Number 2, Titans Academy. Number 3, Kazuko. Number 4, Deep Dive Chronos. Number 5, Eclipsers. 6, Minos. And 7, Golden Hour. And coming in last, just like last season, is the bye week.
Bye week, not having a good start this season.
Not having a good start. And I think if I was to guess on some changes coming in here, I kind of forget what I was looking at, but I have Kazuko at 3. I think that could easily trade with Deep Dive, and Deep Dive could be in the top. But Chronos, that is, by the way. I don't know. Just whoever Kazuko played, I just didn't know if they were the strongest team who they beat. But Tier 4 is not my specialty, so
I can't tell how good Cheese Nining looks either.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I kind of just looked at like what I had because I did make power rankings for all these teams in week 1, and then I kind of just adjusted them based on like who won and lost in like preseason and like full season, and just kind of did my best.
Okay.
I didn't get too crazy with it. Because let's be real. Anyone making power rankings in week 1 doesn't know anything. They change so much.
So assuming we're going to have 4 teams from each group in the playoffs, what teams do you think aren't making it right now? Do you think it stays exactly the way it is right now, or do you think that maybe Blueprint Order sneaks in there because you're such a homer, or any of those other teams?
Considering we're missing JCal and potentially multiple bans, you know what I mean? We'll see what happens. But
Order's going to have a tough time.
But they played close with Deep Dive, so that's at least good to see if they can get some, maybe, I don't want to say fills, but, if they can get some extra, just a couple pieces, maybe they'll still be good, and JCal can hopefully come back to the Blueprint Order. Won't be like last season with, Firewolf and whatnot, but, hopefully they can do something. But I kept them a little lower just because, because of team issues.
Yeah.
Well, all right. You guys want to move right along to Tier 2? Again, we're doing Tier 4, Tier 2, Tier 1, and then we all have individual power rankings for Tier 3 this week. Tier 2 time.
Tier 2 time.
Jace.
I'm going to be real. I think we got to wait for it to come up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Because we did these Jace and I...
yeah. Okay, I know
on this one.
The delay
so
is
we
not
don't
that
have.
long. I can rattle off Group A.
It's up now anyway. So Jace, if you want to take it,
take it away, Jace.
All right. Group A, we have Limeade. Pretty sure that's pretty much the same as most of us had last week. 2, we have No Daylight. 3 is Wish Esports. 4, Event Horizon Pandorum. 5, we have Nakoma. At 6, we have Super Trash Bros. 7, Knights of Dragoon. 8, Deep Dive Icarus. 9, Shell Yeah. 10, Tempest Destruction. and 11 Lords. That's it for Group
The
A.
biggest surprise out of that group has got to be Wish Esports being above Event Horizon Pandorum.
Well, I mean, Wish went after who many of us had as a top team, like not just us, like Tier 2 community had Nakoma as one of the better teams, and Wish kind of rolled them. But yeah, and Pandorum dropped a little bit for me because I didn't have Shelia that high, and 3-2 is a close game by nature.
I could see Shelia and STB switching spots just after how the week 1 scores went. I could see that being a pretty realistic change in this power ranking, but I think it's pretty close as far as week 1 goes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So for Group B, we have at 1 taking space, just look so good, look very good. 2 Blackwatch, 3 Blix Vengeance, could see that swapping depending on what happens later this week. At 4 we have Titans Academy, 5 is Blueprint Chaos. At 6 we have Lucky 13 Diamonds, 7 Daedalus, 8 Event Horizon, 9 Shadow Wolves, and at 10 we have Inferno Greed.
Okay, real quick, which of these 2 groups do you think is stronger, and why do you think that Group B is so much more dog shit? Because it certainly seems that way. If we're just going off names and what we know right now, it seems like Group A is a powerhouse where it's going to be very tough to just weasel your way into the playoffs. And then Group B has got some really strong teams. They're going to lock in those 3-4 spots. But if the playoffs get any bigger than that, it's kind of anyone's game there.
I'm looking at these and I don't see it being like that, if I'm being honest. Like, because I think it's gonna. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a lot like last season of Tier 3. How everyone just said how Group A was just so much more juiced, and then by the time like playoffs rolled around, I'm sorry, it was Group B was more juiced, I believe, is how they looked at it. And then, the Death Watch side of the thing of Group A was definitely the better side. Now, granted, half of Group B was cheating, but.
I mean, for me, like, a lot of what I just said really depends on how good Nakoma and Shelia end up being. They could end up not being that good, in which case my statement totally not true. But if they are as good as everyone says they are, then I think Group 1's playoff picture is just like name brand.
I don't know if anyone's saying Shelia is that good, to be fair.
Hey, man, where my Shelia fans at? You just look at the chat right now, Cam. Tell me Shelia is bad.
I'm seeing a lot of shell and some shell yeahs. We got the chat of the chat in here. But J-Cow's in. But I know Shell yeah got one of their map wins off of a forfeit and one of their players swapping roles mid-map. So or between rounds, which you cannot do. Can't be on Reinhardt and then be on Hanzo on defense. Just not how you do it, sadly. But I don't know. I'm looking at the right side. It's like it's Titans Academy. I think Blix has a lot of big tier 2 names, which maybe that sounds like a meme. I don't know. Taking space is good.
Close relationship with 88s, who I know it's CGL, but they are always the top tier 2 team in CGL.
Blackwatch always looks good. Lucky Diamonds puts on a good team. Daedalus has Banorg is good. Event Horizons over there. You'd hope that a lot of these names too, and I didn't even say Blueprint.
We could be sleeping on Lucky 13 Diamonds hard right now because they did have that big win over Event Horizon's supposed B team, but I mean, still, you come out and you beat an Event Horizon team in Tier 2. There's no doubt that team you beat is a good team, so could be sleeping on them at 6.
Yeah,
I could see them if I'm gonna make a change to Group B. The only change I could see making is switching Lucky 13s with Blix. But still, I think it's an okay
I'm high on Titans Academy. I think they could end up right there with taking space, to be honest.
No matter how lopsided the groups are, those 2 teams for sure are going to probably be as good as any team in Group A, no matter what, at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's really hard to argue lopsided groups because I always, I hear people arguing lopsided groups all over the place. And I know Tier 3, I think there's probably one of the bigger discrepancies in lopsided groups, right? But I think something that we all have to learn is that everyone thinks they know the power rankings. And then if anybody and their mama goes back and looks at their week 1 power rankings and compares it to the final rankings, You're just not right. Like, you're just not. So, and that's basically what you're basing it off of, is what you think the power rankings are. Is that Ventral getting some playtime?
That's Ventral getting some playtime up there.
Oh my god, this is 2 seasons
That's the
later.
Tier 3 Finals
Champion.
frag movie, and there's our good buddy Time Bomb. You guys can't hear this. Hold on. We're just going to not talk for a second.
Thank you so much to all of our desk correspondents. But Kane, thank you so much. Kane and Breezy are responsible. Thank you so much to our casters. Thank you to Yellcrab Berkeley, the one and only Cam Neely. You guys are amazing, and the OG casting duo here. Most importantly, though, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So thank you guys, and thank you, BA. Thank you so much to the production crew. You guys are my home. Yeah, I love you guys so much. Stay safe in these weird times, and good night. Thanks for watching BA T3 Finals.
All right. We can talk again.
I
love Time Bomb.
Yeah. We've referenced that a few times as the thank you spam. But
thank you.
Where were we at right there? Thank you. Where were we at?
We were kind of just talking about Group B.
Wrapping up Tier 2.
Group
Wrapping
B.
up
We're
Tier
talking
2.
about which one was stacked, and I think we went through both all the power rankings. I think that's about
you
it.
were on a point about lopsided groups, and what I think you were getting at is, like, it doesn't really matter how lopsided the groups are, because it always just matters, like, who the very, very best team out of the group is, and I think we're going to have pretty even groups to make a good finals.
And there's just always teams that people think are good and then they aren't, and then that usually, like, two teams that you think are good say they aren't. I mean, immediately the groups aren't lopsided, so you can't go to BA and be like, swap these groups up, you know what I mean? Like, because they're uneven, because then they swap them and now they're actually, like, you go 2 weeks in, you're like, oh my god, these are brutal. You just gotta go with what they give out. It sucks, obviously, if you're in a lopsided group, but you just got, it is what it is. There's always BA seasons going on. They come on pretty often. There's CGL. There's plenty of times to compete and hope that you don't get in a lopsided group. So,
all right, I guess we can just move right along. Tier 1 power rankings, and then Tier 3, all 3 of ours. So I can read Tier 1 power rankings. That's totally fine. We'll just burn through them. Cosmic Comets. We heard they were good. Turns out they're good. They're number 1. Number 2, Blueprint Havoc. They had a strong win. They're in a strong spot. Number 3, Event Horizon. Good org. Gonna have a good team. Number 4, this is a team that could probably move up in these rankings really quickly. That's Walrus's Disciples.
Absolutely.
Could move up super quick.
Walrus
could skyrocket in the next couple weeks.
I kind of feel like that's 1 and 2 right now. I don't know. I don't know enough about T1, but I think all of us put a little bit of stock in there. I mean, they're named Walrus D, so I mean,
that's how the start of power rankings go. I mean, you always got a couple of teams that are just slept on, but they're a team that we're sleeping on, that we're very aware that we're sleeping on them. We're just like, all right, this team is gonna skyrocket any day now. They have to. Walrus D.
Walrus D.
Number 5, Paradise Bonkers. I love the name. It's kind of like the caveat to Blueprint Chaos.
Yeah. Nice.
At 6, we got Labyrinth. That's another team where we know they're going to be strong. It's just a question of how strong. I see them in the playoffs. I just don't know if I see them at a lower seed or at a higher seed. So we're going to learn that in the next couple of weeks too. At 7, we got Night Watch. They got to get it together. They're slacking. Number 8, Super Trash Dragons. Can't slip too much farther below 8. Number 9, everyone's favorite Tier 1 organization, Happy Little Accidents. They got whooped by the Disciples, but they're at 9 because we're not quite sure if the Disciples are just, like, overpowered or not. So, if you get whooped by an overpowered team, what does it really mean?
HLA has lifted the cup before. They're hoping to do it again. Don't sleep on HLA. I always want HLA to win.
I'll always want HLA to win. And then the last 3 teams...
only remaining org of Fat Shats. Sorry, go on.
Oh, that's a good point. Well, Shadow Wolves kind of, but
and
not
taking
really.
Space.
Yeah.
No, Shadow Wolves and taking space. They're not. It's not the
They're
org
not.
anymore. It's completely. Those are their own things now. They have tier 2s and tier 3s, as far as I'm concerned. Do they have? No, they don't have tier 2.
I don't
Just kidding.
think.
All
I
JK.
don't think Shadow Wolves has a tier 3. I know Walrus's Disciples are like taking space as tier 1 though.
Yeah.
So
Bottom 3
I'll
teams,
give Walrus
brand new
Disciples
teams,
flat
right?
shots.
We got Blix Orion, Catalyst, and Lemon Drop. It's just going to have to be a story of their next 2 games, you know? Can any of those 3 teams get a win? And is it going to be against a decent opponent that's going to move them up in the power rankings?
And Lemon Drop could be the best team in tier 1 for all I know, but a forfeit week 1's going to get you bottom of the power rankings. It's just there's nothing you can do with that.
That's a religion right there. If you don't show up to play week 1, we can't really count on you to show up for the rest of the season.
Okay, so we can get right into tier 3 power rankings. And Jace, I think we're going to start with yours, okay?
Sounds good.
Are you ready? You're going to have to read stuff.
I don't know what you mean by that.
All right, everyone in chat, buckle up.
All right. Well, for my Group A power rankings in tier 3, I have Tides Academy at 1, Death Watch 2, Team Lemonade at 3, VCS 4, Sinister Sisters Apocalypse at 5, Event Horizon 6, Inferno Wrath 7, and Demos at 8. And yeah, Tides Academy, most of the team comes over from CGL, where they look really good. The only team that's really beating them is a team called iDirty. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, Tides Academy, just stupidly strong. Lemonade, pretty good as well. Death Watch, obviously. Apollo, obviously good. Thesis, I have heard, is there's a little bit going on there. Maybe some players leaving, so they could be seeing a big drop here soon. But yeah, that's Group A. Group B, Solar Flares at 1. Because, I mean, the Neely main take difference. Blueprint Ride at 2. Yeah. Horizons at 3. What about Blueprint?
We'll just get to the power rankings that matter later.
Blueprint Chaos, by the way. Burke. Oh, no.
And that was you who put Chaos. Cause you
it had to be you, because I copy and pasted your stuff.
I'll show you my phone right now.
Yeah, I believe your phone, but what about your Discord message? Let me check Discord real quick. Everyone on chat, just hold on. I gotta settle a gripe with Jace real quick.
It's gonna say
Okay.
Oh my god, look at that. Group B, number 1, Solar Flares. Number 2, Blueprint Chaos. Alright. Bad on me for not editing. Bad on you for not knowing the name of the team that you're on. Alright.
Just palmed that basketball and slammed it down.
Okay, number 3.
Number 4, Just Better. Just Better again. I think they're a slip-on save.
Did you skip Horizon's Horizon?
No, I said 3.
Okay, they're good.
But, yeah. Just Better. They have a good core. I think they'll be good. Number 5, I have Glizzy Gladiators. I had Super Trash Mafia at 5 originally. Swap spots. Deep Dive is at 6. Renegades at 7. And Super Trash Mafia at 8.
What teams are you looking at where you're like, I think this team could shoot up in the power rankings? Could be just one team, but either group.
I mean, Lemonade could end up, like, if everything gets ironed out with them, Lemonade could just end up being the best team in Group A. Apocalypse, I don't know if they've been figured out. I haven't seen any odds on it or anything. Yeah, and I think Death Watch and Titans are going to stay top 3 no matter what. But Group B, Horizons, I didn't have them that highly rated, but apparently they've kind of rebuilt their team and they look really good. And Glizzy Gladiators, even though they're 0-1, they did kind of take it to Super Trash Mafia, who I did hear had Lukey on DPS, so that does mean something, but they might be a team that you have to look out for.
All right. Neely, you ready to give your power rankings for Tier 3?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, man. Let her rip.
All right, so for Group A, we have Death Watch. No brainer. I think we can all just agree on that one. Number 2, Titans Academy. Number 3, Lemonade. Number 4, Theseus. Number 5, Sinister Sisters Apocalypse. There you go. Which sounds like a site none of you 16-year-olds should be on, by the way. Number 6, Event Horizon. Number 7, Demios. And number 8, Inferno Wrath. I'm feeling good about most all of those. I think most people are going to crucify me for Sinister Sisters being rather low, but, they lost to Team Lemonade, who isn't bad, but, where are they supposed to go? Theseus won their game, so I just kind of put them in number 5. It's week 1. Things could change. Maybe they're not as good as everyone thinks they are. So, we'll just have to see. But moving on to Group B. Camera's gotten tilted because I had my cat in my lap. On Group B, we have Deep Dive at number 1. I know I'm going to get some shit for that.
You're going to get a ton of shit for that.
It's okay. One of their best players got DOSed. I mean,
you're chalking it up to that. That's fair.
I mean,
it's
your
true.
highest paid player, you're spending all this SR on what, $36.50? I know how expensive that is. I make plenty of teams, dude.
Yeah.
What do you
is.
want?
That's a
You know
big
what I mean?
player
That's
to
your
not have in the
best
mix.
player can't
Spirit.
play. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think, number 2, Rory Hoary. I think they just need a rematch where there's no dossing. And certain people don't stream the game for Tier 3 when they aren't supposed to.
Rules, man. Could have got rule booked for
Rules.
that.
Really, you should have lost for that. If all this other rule booking is going on, that's an L in my opinion. But whatever. But I mean, I think Deep Dive could also be at fault because they also announced the time of their game on Twitter. So,
Yeah. People were
Bunch
gonna.
of
I mean, like if you're
dummies.
out to DOS, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, that's a bad look because that's the only.
Could totally
game that
not be
was
someone
streamed.
on either roster too. That's the thing, and that's why
No,
we don't.
yeah, no.
That's why we don't
That's
stream
easy.
Tier 3, Tier 4 games, is because there's just too
Yeah.
many shitters out there at this point. Who?
one got streamed on a non-official thing and it got DOSed. So,
Yeah. You just can't
Yeah,
chance
that's
it.
just
and I don't think it was players from either team.
No,
really
I don't either.
So,
I just think it's some
That's
guy
the-
out there who wakes up on the wrong
He's a
side of the bed
massive
every day and burns his eggs every morning.
fucking loser.
yeah. Definitely a loser, but that's why I have those two at number 1 and 2. They're probably interchangeable between who's number 1 and 2 on those two teams, but I was going to have Deep Dive first before that game happened, and I just didn't feel like this game really dictated much other than that. So I could be wrong. It's week 1. Nobody cares. 3, Blueprint Riot. I thought they've looked strong. They've got some of the best players probably in this league, in my opinion. They've got Spirit Wolf. They've got Sleepin'. They have Corgi on DPS. That's like one person in each role that's very dominant. Jace. No, I'm not talking about you. Number 4. Number 4, Solar Flares. It's right where I think we are, probably mid-pack. Could maybe ascend to something higher if we can, get our shit together.
Could
but
ascend to
we'll
number
see.
1 by tomorrow.
Yeah,
Sure.
not today.
Yeah, I'm not Jace. Number 5, Renegades. We had a close game with them. They had a player with some internet issues. Again, you gotta chalk it up you gotta say what happened. I still think we were like a little bit better than them, but they've got that sniper guy. I forget what his name is, but he is absolutely cracked on the Hanzo. I think some people gave him shit for having an ego on Twitter. I think if anybody deserves to have a little bit of an ego on Twitter, it's that guy. I mean, who else plays Hanzo? Everyone else is just a pussy and plays Ashe. So, props to a Hanzo player. I get it, it's Hanzo, just shoot shields, but this guy shoots faces, so I give props on that. Number 6, Glizzy Gladiators. I don't really know a lot about them. They were able to take their game over Super Trash Mafia. Super Trash Mafia lost to Blueprint Riot. So I just that's how I'm stacking these out. That's why I have Glizzy a little bit lower. Following up with that is going to be Just Better. And finishing out is Super Trash Mafia. I think Just Better is the one with Castle guy, right?
No,
Yeah.
that's just better. Yeah, just better has castle and
Okay,
chest.
so I think that team could move up considerably to anywhere in these rankings. I think they could be right at number 4, number 3. But we're just going to have to see what happens.
Neely, do you have any words for Lukey?
Ooh, wait, who? Me? What?
Do you have any words for Lukey?
What about him?
Was he in a game
wait,
that
is
you
he-
just played?
No, I didn't even play. I haven't played. He
Preseason?
played against Riot. No, I played
Oh.
Lemonade. Yeah, that was Riot. I thought he was still on Fortnite. My bad. Sorry, apologies, Luke. I wasn't. I don't keep up with Fortnite players. That's my bad.
All right, and this seems like a great time for you to air it out, even though it's Tier 3 and we've moved on from Tier 2, but tell me about just going way back to Tier 2 for some reason. That's what I'm doing.
Maybe not. What is it
I
about?
don't
Do I
know.
want to talk about this?
Just talk about how much of a Chad Aeropulse was on Ryan.
Oh
my God.
Era was an absolute Chad. 2300 Reinhardt absolutely showing up, blocking shatters and hitting shatters. I was a big dummy and didn't get Dex time, playoff Dex, season 3 champion Dex of No Daylight. I didn't get him signed to the roster, so he couldn't play. We had to move our main support player over to main tank. You know, we had 3 people on the roster that were effectively gold on their roles. I'm not SR shaming. It's just what it was, and they put on a pretty good performance for what it was. So I'm a big fan of what they were able to do.
Yeah, just had to bring that up because totally forgot to mention it when we talked about Tier 2. So, your power rankings all done?
Hey, Dragon, playing CGL and scrim 7 days a week, okay? Then tell me how much practice time you get. Out of my chat.
Your
Just
chat.
Damn. Sparks chat.
Your chat.
I see him memeing on me, so I gotta send a jab back. He's right though. I got a lot of excuses.
All right. So I guess that just leaves me with my power rankings, and then we can maybe look at some games of the week, and we'll wrap this bad boy up. All right. So my power rankings,
Absolutely.
Group A. Wait, is this Group A or B? This is Group B. Wait.
For what?
Yeah, okay. Mine are backwards. This happened in Photoshop, and I thought I saved it and re-uploaded it. But I'll start with Group A, which is the one on the right. SS Apocalypse at number 1. It makes no sense why it's over there. I think they're still good. I know they lost, but I'm putting stock in some bad things coming toward Lemonade. I'm putting some stock in that. I might be wrong, and if which case I am, then I'll get to jumble my power rankings a bunch and have Lemonade move way up in the rankings. But if I'm not wrong, then I'm going to look really smart this week, and I'm going to roll the dice on that. Number 2, Titans Academy. They could probably be at number 1. So could number 3, Deathwatch. I think those 3 teams are the best 3 teams, and I think that they could beat each other on any day, and it'd be close. Number 4, I got Theseus. Number 5, Event Horizon. 6, Lemonade. I'm gambling. I think even if that thing that I'm talking about goes through, I don't know. But even if it does,
they're still not a bad team.
They're still not a bad team. Exactly. And I think Demios and Inferno Wrath have a long ways to go, unfortunately. Moving on to Group B, which is on the left because I don't know how to do things. Number 1, Horizon's Horizon. Good job beating Deep Dive. That's my second-ranked team. If you're able to beat my second-ranked team, that makes you the number 1 team. How about that? Blueprint Riot at number 3. I think for some reason, Jace wound up on a good team. I don't know how it happened. Solar Flares is at 4. No clue how Jace is on a better team than Neely, but right now he is. Number 5, Glizzy Gladiators. So they got the win. It got reversed. Super Trash Bros, or Super Trash Mafia, excuse me. They were the ones who picked up the maps. But I think if Glizzy Gladiators can just turn on their Xboxes at the appropriate time every match, they should have an okay team. Number 6, I got Just Better. 7, Renegades, and 8, Super Trash Mafia. Seems like a team with a long way to go unless teams keep showing up late. In which case, I think they'll pick up a number of wins. Okay. So that's
and
all.
Super Trash Mafia, they're really not bad. They're really not bad. We need to, I don't think they're that bad. I played them in preseason, obviously. I feel like they have a major weakness though, and if they address that, I think they'll be much better.
Do you want to just air out what you think their weakness is?
I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want to put my strat against them. I don't know if I want to put my strat against them out or put their weakness out into the world. So. Maybe off screen.
We all know Blueprint's Riot's weakness, so might as well just say it.
Moving overpowered bot, the top main tank in Tier 2 last season to support.
The number 1.
Great job, personally.
All right. What else we got to say before we wrap this bad boy up? Huh?
Cast T1 and T2. Games of the week.
Games of the week.
Job I was supposed to do.
Yeah, the job that I assigned you this morning that I know you are fumbling through your phone to do now. Let's see if we can see some good ones.
We can check it. This is probably the best way to do it. Maybe Shaq can get in on it a little bit, you know.
Yeah, well, you're working on that.
Big one in Tier 1.
What do you got?
Walrus's Disciples versus Cosmic Comets is this week.
Game of the week for Tier 1. Easy.
That's
Done.
Huge.
Walrus
checking
Disciples
threes.
versus Comets. That's actually going to be really good. Don't know who's going to cast it, but
I almost want to. Yeah, I want to cast that.
It's gonna be Walrus is all over that. Get out of
yeah,
here.
Walrus loves
Unless
casting
you
his
cast
own
it.
team. I've never casted No Daylight, actually. I just can't do it. And I don't know
like
how
the idea
Walrus
of
is
it,
casting
though.
his own orc so much.
I love it though. It's kind of like sports.
I don't know if Walrus is part of that org though.
You got the big time Homer.
Yeah, he owns Taken
Yeah,
Space to an extent, or he's a big part of it. He's a big Taken Space fan. I mean, he played for it last season. Walrus Disciples is a part of it. He's definitely a part of that org in a big way. You know, maybe he doesn't do anything necessarily with the team, but he's definitely like, you know, with T2, but he's definitely a big part of both those teams. And he's kind of like you got your home casters for hockey, then you have the general casters, and then you have the away casters. You know, there's like 3 different casts of the thing going on, and you get to tune into whatever you want, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool that, you know, they kind of always are going to have their homer guy. You know, some people be like, dude, he's biased, but it's like, of course he's biased.
That's gotta be sick for one team to listen to.
Yeah,
it's gotta be so sick.
In tier 2. There's a fun one in tier 2 if you want to like that.
Yeah, tell me.
Blackwatch versus Blueprint Chaos. That's a tale as old as time right there, isn't it?
Those are the 2 oldest orgs.
I'd give it Game of the Week
T2.
just based on that. Oh
yeah, that's a fun one.
Some original 8s.
Yes. Start original 6. Tier 3.
Tier 3 seems tough this week.
In group, I'm looking at Group A right now. Team Lemonade versus Sinister Sisters. Oh no, wait, that was last week. My bad.
Yeah,
I gotta scroll.
Team
I gotta
Lemonade
scroll.
Deathwatch though.
That should be pretty good. I still get the nod of Deathwatch on that.
Yeah.
Sinister Sisters versus Theseus might be good. I mean, on my power rankings, they were neck and neck. So, and I think Sinister Sisters, if they want to be considered a top team, has to kind of come out and dominate.
That was my phone playing an ad.
Okay.
I mean, I think the Solar Flare's Just Better game will be pretty good personally. I think people are sleeping on Just Better a lot.
Yeah, Just Better should be good. Yeah, that's probably. Yeah, I feel like that should be the closest one, honestly, of the week.
Okay.
But yeah, so Group A, I think Sinister Sisters versus Theseus. Group B, you can go Solar, Just Better. And then Tier 4, everybody's favorite.
We love Tier 4, the highest level of competition in the league.
And groups.
I mean, Tides Academy versus Golden Hour. I love you, Skipper, but God, that's a tough one. I mean, I feel like we have a bunch of top teams versus low teams this week. Eclipsers, Minos. I don't know what Eclipsers has. That
could be a good one. I think those were 5 and 6 on the power rankings.
Teo versus Cheese Nining will be one that decides who.
That's true. I'd probably pick that for Game of the Week.
Yeah.
Well, that's Group A. You know that you could have whatever Jay said for Group B as well. I don't know what he said, but for Group A, I think Teo. Yeah, I feel like that's probably a lower end. I know Eclipsers has been trying to put it together a little bit here.
Yeah, it's just because I don't Eclipsers. I'm an admin in the Astronomical Warden, and Eclipsers is still a mystery to me.
So, I like how many words.
Lemonade versus Kronos.
Right there.
That's what I'm seeing in chat.
Lemonade Kronos.
That should be good.
Kronos
I had gotten
kind of weak, and I thought Lemonade's tier 4 was good.
I still think I have. I think I still have Kronos rather high. But to be fair, Kronos did also play kind of close with Blueprint. I don't hold a lot of stock in Blueprint order, and I'm a big Blueprint fan. So
I thought Erebus is the one that played close to Blueprint.
Maybe I don't know what division are they in. Okay, you're correct.
Kronos is the weaker of the two deep dives, from what I'm hearing.
See, I heard the other way around. Last week.
Well, I mean, just from what I saw, Erebus doesn't look bad. I mean, PogChip and Nebula on the same team, that's the dynamic duo right there, isn't it?
Yeah, that is it's the dynamic Twitter duo as well.
Yeah.
Powerful Twitter duo. Old as time.
And PogChip returned to BA, probably trying to make a statement.
Mm-hmm. Playing in tier 4. Big moves.
So I think that about does it, guys. Wouldn't you say? real quick.
Cast games.
Cast
tier
games.
1, tier 2.
I think like 15 games or so were casted, which we're never going to be able to do all of them. All the casters. Never going to happen. That just means...
It's not really even the goal, though.
No, it's not. That just kind of means that if you ever get like even an inkling to cast a game, there's a game that you can cast. Like, there will always be a game you can cast.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. Chrono and Skyvenom have been dueling some games, and I know they did their first one maybe in preseason of the... I think... Was it your game, Jace? Because you can't do tier 3 now in regular season.
Preseason, you did, so...
I did not cast
I
you
did
in preseason.
Oh, no, oh my God, I'm getting mixed up. Yeah, you did Blix. You did Blix.
I did Blix in preseason.
I'm losing my mind. I've got too much
Chrono
going on.
did you. Chrono and Skyvenom did you guys in preseason, but you can't do tier 3 because if you want to do tier 3, there's codes. If you want to cast codes, it's out there. If you want to cast like a higher level of Overwatch, it's good practice. And do they cast codes live, Burke? I actually don't know.
I casted
you
codes
can,
live
you can
yesterday.
cast codes live. I'm pretty sure Kane and I are
Okay.
going to cast some codes live a little later. Or me and
Okay.
someone. Might be you, Jace. I don't know who I'm casting codes with later, but I'm casting codes.
I mean,
I'll
I'm
let you know.
available probably, so just let me know.
We'll talk about it. All right, that seems to be pretty much everything. I hope everyone liked the new look of the BetterCast and insane hype train, even bigger than last time, which was already like heartbreaking. I told my mom about it. This just means I'm going to have to tell my mom about this one too. Be like, Mom, even more people this time. And she'll be like, I don't get it, but I'll still have a good time talking to her about it. Okay. Neely
man.
on Twitter at NeelyOW. Jace the Ace on Twitter at Jace the Ace OW. Cam.
Join Blueprint.
I was going to say, and just big thanks to Burke for putting together all the graphics and stuff. He's been doing it over the last 2 days, and it looks very good. This is the first time I've actually pulled it up in front of my TV just so that I can just use the graphics. That's why it sometimes took a second to start a segment, but it, made it very easy, and they're all... I liked actually getting to see the cast, have the chat, do all that, so... I'm getting a new camera, by the way. I'm actually getting a PC, and I'm going to be getting the whole setup.
All those quality police were all up over you.
Oh, I know. You don't have to fund me. I got money, dude. I just don't.
I mean,
spend
you could fund me if you want. I'm just
no,
half fucking laptop.
Everyone in chat saying use sub money to buy Cam a camera. I mean, it totally could. I'm down. Cameras are like $15 for 1080p one. That's what mine is. So
I was gonna say I'm gonna be in Concord soon buying a. No one knows what Concord is. It's the main city in New Hampshire. I'm gonna be buying all my stuff that I need.
Nice. Jace, I think it got lost in the sauce. What's your Twitter?
JCSOW. Join Blueprint. JCSOW. Yeah.
Join Blueprint. They might actually make it into playoffs despite having Jace. My Twitter, same as the Twitch, at alt_charge. Also follow the BetterCast Twitter at BetterCastOW on Twitter. It's going to have way more than just podcast stuff. It might have extra power rankings on it. We might all do the same power rankings for some tiers each week, but we also might just throw in some individual ones if we're feeling good about it. So make sure you follow the Twitter, get some good BA updates, and chat. Thanks for hanging out, all 60 of you. There were 80 at one point. That's always going to be insane to me. Have a good week.